Gosh, there's one. Ate it right on the front edge of that grass. Bring it in, baby, bring it in. Yes, sir, yes, sir. Woohoo, we love to see it right there. In today's video, we're gonna talk about the brand new Mach Patroller topwater and how you can better utilize it to catch more fish like this. Let's get into it, baby. Well, how's it going, Mach Nation? Tyler Anderson here from TRF on YouTube. My goal on my channel is always to help you guys become better bass anglers with every single video that I make, and that's what I'm bringing here on this channel as well. And in today's video, I'm gonna be teaching you guys the basics of fishing the brand new Mach Patroller topwater bait. This thing is a fish catcher everywhere I go, and you need one in your tackle box. Let's get into it. So the first thing I wanna talk about is what the Mach Patroller accomplishes. As a topwater lure, the goal of this is to get a fish to come from the depths or from shallow water to come up and eat it on the top. So no matter the water clarity, no matter the speed of retrieve, your goal is the same, to get a fish to eat this thing. Now there are many different types of topwater lures out there, but almost none of them look and act and sound like the Patroller does. This bait right here, I would lump together with the buzz baits of the world that have some kind of metal or plastic prop that catches water and spits it, being very loud and creating a bubble trail behind your bait. So when you retrieve the Patroller, it's gonna sound like this. Now the next question is gonna be, what gear do you need to throw the Mach Patroller? In my experience, rod and reel don't really matter. Just whatever rod and reel that you have that you can cast the farthest. If it's a spinning rod, great. If it's a bait casting rod like I prefer, that's great too. But the two keys with this when it comes to gear are long cast, so whatever rod can let you cast the furthest, and braided line. I throw anywhere from 40 to 50 pound braided line on the Patroller, and you can throw it on monofilament or fluorocarbon, but you're gonna have problems with stretch on that mono or fluoro, and especially with fluoro, the nose of that bait is gonna wanna sink as you retrieve it back to you, and that's not what you want. You want the nose to be angled slightly up, which we'll talk about in the retrieve section of this video, and braided line, in my opinion, is the best line for topwater. Now, that means you don't really need a hook set. Hook sets with the Patroller are really non-existent. All you've really got to do is just kind of like continue your reel a little bit faster and lean into those fish, similar to a spinner bait or any other treble hook bait like a crankbait. The mouth of a bass is oftentimes very easy to pull a treble hook out of, so if you're throwing a medium heavy or a heavy action rod with 40, 50 pound braid, you don't really need much of a hook set at all. There's one. There we go, no need for a hook set, just a reel. And we're bringing him on in. Skip him off the top of the water like he's water skiing. Boom. And that's how you want to see him eat it right there. The treble hook all the way in the mouth. Triple grip hooks got him good. Thank you, little guy. Where are your friends? Where are your big friends? Now you might not have been able to tell there, but I threw the Patroller over one of the best locations to retrieve this thing, and that is a shallow grass flat. Let's cover that location and the other best places to throw the Patroller. Because the Patroller has treble hooks, it's not really meant to be thrown, and as a matter of fact, I would highly recommend against throwing it around any kind of shallow cover. So wood, grass, sticks, lily pads, this thing is not really meant to be thrown, at least on top of those things. Now you can throw it around those things. So whether you are on the bank or on the bass boat, you can use the Patroller to target cast around the edge of lily pads, around some shallow sticks. But you just have to understand that a treble hook is not forgiving. If you hook a treble hook on something, it's gonna stay there or bring it back to the bank with you. And so my favorite place to throw the Patroller is going to be either open water, over mud, over sand, where there's not a whole lot of cover down there, or my favorite place being over a shallow grass flat, where the grass, let's say hydrilla, coontail, milfoil, any kind of pond grass that is just underneath the surface, I would say at least a foot underneath the surface to 3 feet beneath the surface, and maybe covers a large expansive area. That is a great place to make long fan casts over to trigger a fish into biting, and oftentimes there's multiple fish over one entire flat that you can catch on the Patroller. Now when you are throwing a treble hooked topwater like the Patroller, oftentimes it's inevitable that you're gonna get some grass on your treble hooks, which basically ruins the remainder of that cast. Here's an example in action of how I try to keep grass off of my treble hooks. Little patch of grass here, I'm at the edge, give it a hop, and just like that, I have almost kept it totally weedless. One little slap on the water there, and we are back to it. If I hadn't have given it that hop, once I got past the strike zone, that bait would have gotten lodged in the grass and I would have had to heave the bait out of the grass, getting up to the grass here, no bite, do a hop. And you kind of ruin the rest of the cast, but it makes you way more efficient because I can go immediately into the next cast and not have to worry about stripping all the weeds off. One of the reasons why I love this style of bait is because the retrieval is so stinking easy. Let's hop on the water and show you guys how to retrieve the patroller. So when it comes to retrieval of the patroller, you can really kind of do whatever the heck you want. I mean, as long as you get that tail, that propeller moving in the back, you're not gonna have any issues catching fish on this lure. Now, how do you do it best? In my experience, it all starts with an extra long cast. So you gotta make sure you get that first. Then to start your retrieve, I normally keep my rod tip at like a 2 o'clock position, which means if straight even is 3 o'clock, down is 4 o'clock, 2 o'clock is about like this. That way it gets the nose of that bait riding up a little bit, which helps the patroller grab water. So rod tip up a little bit, and then either a straight retrieve back to you at whatever speed you want, either slow enough to barely get that thing churning or fast enough to where it's you can even start your retrieve fast and then stop it. And then give it some pops like a popper and then continue it again. Gosh, like that, like that. Oh my gosh, big one, big one. Oh my goodness. As I'm showing you guys, the stop and go retrieve, it works. It works. Oh my gosh. Y'all, sometimes there's just fish that don't really want to eat a bait that's moving too fast. They want something that has a little bit of pause to it, gives those fish time to react. And I think it's obvious this fish wanted a bait that gave him a little bit of time to react to it. That's stinking awesome. Absolutely gorgeous fish right there on the stop and go. See ya, friend. So that right there is how you retrieve the patroller. Pretty dang easy. Either as fast as you want, as slow as you want, or give it a little stop and go. Now, when it comes to colors, I don't really think it matters a whole lot. But the main three that I throw are chrome, bone, any kind of white color, and any kind of translucent. Here at Mach, we have all three covered for you guys. For me, I throw chrome when it's a clear sky day, I throw a white or a bone color when it's cloudy, and I throw translucent when I'm fishing in ultra clear water. So now that we know the who, what, when, where, and why of the patroller, I say we go on the water and catch some dang fish. Sometimes I like to vary my retrieve a little bit. Instead of just reeling it straight back, I'll pause it, give it, oh my gosh, as I paused it, as I stinking paused it. Wow. That was cool and not planned. Sometimes as I pause it, jerk it a few times, you'll trigger a fish that might be following it, but needs something a little bit different before it attacks. Chrome patroller, little bass. See ya, homie. I was really just reeling it and gave it a stop and go retrieve, and it got that fish to bite. So let's try it over here. There's one, there's one. Stop and go is absolutely getting them today, folks. Holy cow. That's awesome. These fish are not super aggressive today. Neither of the fish that I've gotten so far has really eaten it that hard. And this guy's not hooked by much. Oh, bring it up, yes sir. This guy just had it by the bottom of the chin. But I'm just a few minutes into fishing the patroller this morning and I've already figured out exactly what the fish want. So what I'm gonna do is give them more of what they want, which is the old stop and go. Oh, no way, what do I have? What did I catch? What the heck is this? Oh, baby. Call me the bluegill snatcher. This right here is a phenomena that I can't quite understand. How they fit their entire mouth around all three trebles. He's got all three of them. That has never made any sense to me. How do you do that? And it's like you can't use leverage to get one of them out. So the patroller also catches nice bluegill. All right, we're ditching the big camera. See y'all. I'm just gonna beat the bank with the chest mount real quick. I'm addicted to this bite. I gotta catch one more. Gosh, there's one. There's one. Oh, baby. I'm gonna reel in fast to catch up with him over here. That's the best one of the day, I think. Come on now, come on. Bring it up. Get in here, yes sir. Not the best one of the day, but still a chunky girl on the patroller. 2 hooks, wasn't coming off. That right there is what you like to see, folks. Heck yeah. And all it took was covering some water real fast to find a biting fish. Stop fishing the patroller too slow in a one location. Get out there and start patrolling.